Good morning, everyone. This is Meg at Chasing Retro. I hope you guys are all doing well today. It might be afternoon before this post, but I wanted to go ahead while I had a small break in my morning to film this video because it is long overdue. This is a collaboration that's hosted by Angela the Traveling Crafter, and she titles it BOLO, B-O-L-O, which means be on the lookout. These are just books that, as a junk journaler, I am extremely thrilled with, glad that I found, and I'm able to use in a variety of different ways as I make junk journals. So definitely check out the BOLO hashtag to see what other people have found book-wise that they can't live without and that you should be on the lookout for. I don't advocate you going and buying any of these books at full price. Just because it begins to be less cost effective if you end up if you go looking for these sometimes rare books on even used websites like eBay and thriftbooks.com, because if you pay $34.95 for a book because it's out of print, just because you really wanted it, you're going to be very reluctant to even tear it apart to use it in journals. And if you do, that's just a pretty high number of pennies per page, in my opinion, to use in a junk journal. So I advocate, the reason why I think she calls it BOLO is be on the lookout for these things when you're in thrift shops, when you're at yard sales, when people have free book giveaways or book swaps, or when you're in a children's bookstore, like a homeschool bookstore even. Those can be great places to find children's books that are beautiful and sometimes vintage for a very low price. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4/5 books to show you today. I have many more that I wanted to include, but I tried to narrow it down to my top faves. This is called Garden of Truth, and this is the name of the lady who made it. I want to say she writes some. She does write a little snippet or poem, and then she puts a Bible verse, a snippet of a Bible verse, and this beautiful lettering, and then she does watercolor flowers. I think this is an anemone. But if you remember, when I did the Women of the Bible journal series, I used these flowers in there, and they turned out so pretty as tuck spots or shaped cutouts, if you will. I left a little bit of white space around them, and I used them as a tuck spot. But you could use, because this page is put together with string, I've kind of already started cutting them. You can use a knife and cut the string apart, and you can have, well, this one is already, I've already used half of the other one. There's very little left to this book. I've ripped most of the pages out. But you can lift out entire, I don't have one to show you. Maybe this will. There is string, but there's a little bit of glue too, so I don't think any of these are going to come out clean anymore because, here we go. So this one is already connected, so you can use this entire thing in a journal so it won't be sideways if you wanted to use it as a page, or you can use it as the artwork. What I like about books like this, where there are always images on one side and text on the other, you never have to choose between, do you pick one flower over the other? You don't have to worry about losing a flower on that side because it's only on the left. So be on the lookout for this book. I think it's Christian publisher, Harvest House. Yeah, so, you could find it on Amazon or in a Christian bookstore, but I would highly recommend looking at yard sales and things like that, thrift shops. This is probably a book that someone would give as a gift, so it's pretty likely that it would end up in a thrift store. Secondly, and I don't know if this one's in print anymore or not. This is called The Color Collector's Handbook. And as you can see, all I have left of it is the front cover and these two little pages right here. These are punchable colored dots. And basically what this book has is a little over 100 pages maybe of a paint swash. It's not really paint, but it's a color over a whole page, and you're supposed to go out in nature around your house and try to match that exact color write down where you found the color, describing whether it was a plant, what time of day you saw it, where it was found, the circumstances surrounding you finding this color. I believe this little envelope is for you to put things in, that maybe a flower that you pressed and want to keep. But I love putting the pages of this, and I'm sorry I don't have any to show you, but if you've seen any of the flip throughs, pretty much any of them, I try to include one of these pages in a lot of the journals that I make, especially the eclectic ones. But it's a very blank, basic page for lots of journaling space, and it's just a unique sort of journal that you can disassemble and use in your junk journals. Now, these are fun to punch out. You would need to trim these little, what do they call these things? Chads. You would need to clip those off with scissors, but you can use these. These kind of remind me of like bingo markers. But I thought these would be fun, and I have used them in clusters or collages and things like that. They're really cute in a cluster. So I've got all these still yet to use. So be looking for this one. This is a cute one. Third really is this whole series, but this is probably my favorite book of the series. Compton's Beginner's Bookshelf. There are several different publication years of this. Let me see which one this one is. I got this at an estate sale. Most of the items in the estate sale were published in the 60s, early 70s. So let's see what this year is. 1965. Original 57. So I guess this is the 65 edition. There are several volumes, like I said, but this one is about poetry. They also have one that's nursery rhymes, and then they have some of their stories. It's very similar to the My Bookshelf series, or My Bookhouse, but a little less refined and not so old. But the pictures in here, I love. They are single color only. And so you've got these adorable, I love that style of illustration too. Sort of a pen and ink, but very simple faces. Little black cat. There's little black cats all through this book. I love that. But see, you have yellow, and then a few more pages over, it switches, I think. Yep, here's some brown. That little lamb looks mad. And then here's some blue. Winkin', blinkin', and nod. Beautiful. So this would be beautiful as a full page. And then we've got some more brown, and then we've got blue, and then here's some green. And here's some red for the Christmassy ones. And these, the little dividers between the sections, are pink. So super fun. You can use them as a whole page in a journal, but you can also, I've used many of them for, you could turn this into a very interesting touch spot, or this could make a cute pocket, or even a journaling card. Looks like somebody had something in here folded at one point. So yes, look for the Comptons Beginner's Bookshelf. And again, don't pay a ton for these. I think I got these for $1 each. Last but not least, I only have 2 books by this illustrator, but I lumped them together. So look for books by this illustrator. Many of you already know who this is. Guio Fujiwa. I think it's every time I get this out, I can't remember if it's a male or female. I don't know why. Does it say about the illustrator? I don't know. I thought one of them did. If y'all know, let me know, please. I grew up with this book. My parents bought this book, not the same one. I would never tear that one up. My parents bought this book for me when I was a baby, and I looked at it. See, I paid $2 for this, which is very reasonable, I think. I looked at this for hours. The pictures are incredibly detailed. Fujiwa is known for pen and ink. I mean, extreme detail in the pen and ink. Let me show you an example. Well, first of all, this is not really pen and ink, but look. every single window is drawn. And then here, the hatch marks, I love it. But then also full color, like this is all a page of busy babies. And what I love about this illustrator too is the use of multicultural. You know, there's a redhead, there's Latino and African American, Asian. I love it. Just beautiful. Babies and children playing together from all over the world. Look at the sunflowers. As you can see, I have not torn into this book a whole lot because, I mean, how do you use this? To use it in its entirety, you'd have to make a very large journal. But one of the things that I have done with these is, say I wanted to use this page. I would tear it out. Say I wanted to put it in a standard 5x7 junk journal. Okay, I would probably fold it like this to create a pocket, and then I would fold it like that, and I would sew, I can't even get it in frame. I would sew here, and I would sew at the bottom, and then you have a built-in pocket, and it covers up just a little bit of this edge here. That's probably the best way to make these pocket pages, to make these pages used in its entirety. They don't lend itself very well to journaling cards and tags because there's just way too much to look at. And it'd be really hard to decide which parts to use and which parts to toss. This is another one of the same illustrator's books, and this one is poems. This one's a little bit easier to use, as like I could cut each one of these individually apart and make a journaling card out of it, but then you deal with, are you okay losing the back side of it? So for most of the books, most of the illustrations in these books, I use the whole page folded like I showed you. If the junk journal is especially small, I'll fold it this way, and then I'll also fold it in on both sides, and I'll create a pocket and a side tuck. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I've shown it before in flip throughs. Let me know if you don't understand what I'm saying. It's really hard to show you without actually doing it, but yes, the name of the illustrator is Fujiwa. I see books by him or her at a lot of places. I wouldn't say every time I go because then I would have a lot more than two, but I do see them, you know, pretty frequently. Most of the time it's a little more than I want to pay. I'm not going to pay $10 for it, but I'll pay $5. So, and sometimes you can find these on thrift books that are in acceptable condition, which basically means the worst condition. But for junk journalers, that is perfect. Even if unless it's colored on every page, you can use books that are dinged, and you can use ex-library copies, things like that, because we're mainly using the insides of the book. So these are my BOLO, be on the lookout book selections for you guys today. Do head over to Angela the Traveling Crafter. She does more than one of these every month. She will just go through routinely and show more things that we all should be on the lookout. Some of the ones she shows are drool worthy. They're just amazing. She has this one feed sack fabric book that I am now on the lookout for myself. But join in and show us what you think we should be on the lookout for, because I'm always looking to add more books to my junk journaling collection that are not fluff. I want books that I want to be able to use every page, not just let's rip out the 10 illustrations I like and then throw the rest of the book away, because to me that's so sad. I love books that are full of every page having something on it that I can use. So that's what I tried to show you today. But join in with BOLO and head to Angela and the other participants. I hope you guys are having a lovely week, and I'll see you next time around. Bye.